If you believe you're being targeted for sexual assault, or if you're a victim of sexual assault, there are free, confidential, and secure resources available for you, provided by RAIN. You can call their 24/7 hotline at 800-656-HOPE, or use their online services and free chat at rain.org. Additionally, you can find a list of local resources at centers.rain.org. That's RAINN.org. The Steam Summer Sale is on now, and Nick's got a couple indie games for you that you should check out immediately. Then we asked the Magic 8 Ball if icky. All signs point to Dr. Disrespect.
Hi, I'm Nick, and the Appalachian Mountains are older than the rings of Saturn.
Hi, I'm Josh, and I've become quantumly entangled with your mom.
I'm Andy, and this episode does contain allegations of inappropriate messaging with a minor by a public figure. If you wish to avoid that topic, it starts right after the indie games highlights and the Steam Summer Sale discussion. Well, hey, everybody.
Hello.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
How are you?
We're welcome front. We don't care.
I'm good.
We accept all delineations of the year facing.
Do we?
Interior, posterior.
Exterior,
Totally. I don't know what happened.
crocodile, alligator.
I know it doesn't seem like, but this is a podcast. We're talking about video games. So
We've only been preparing for 4 hours.
yeah, that's it. So we got a couple indie games to talk about, and then the news that is kind of dominating the news cycle. I think we got to talk about it.
Yep.
So we'll be talking about a couple indie games, and then we'll talk about the problems with Dr. Disrespect. So Nick, why don't you go ahead and start us off?
Yeah, in a week bereft of any major gaming news, unless you're an Elden Ringer and you need your Scadu tree fragments. I cannot get over how bad of a name that is.
Yeah.
I just wanted to throw a couple out there. There's a lot of good indie games. They're coming out all the time. They're cheap as hell. Some of them are even free, or at the very least, they might have demos. Two that have caught my eye recently. The first one, I'm a huge fan of well-done mix of science fiction and fantasy, and this one just popped on my radar yesterday, and I read a bit into it. A fun little short game that is currently in beta. I wouldn't call it early access. It was originally released on itch.io, and you can still get the demo for free there. I believe you can also get the demo on Steam. Is a game called Broke Signal Badlands. How to describe this game? So the setting is kind of like Area 51 punk. Think New Mexico, but weird and strange. You are a cable technician who decided on a whim one day to steal one of the trucks and go find enlightenment in the desert. And this is a small role-playing game with 3 simple stats, simple dice rolls, as you make your way through kind of Central North America, experiencing strange situations, dying horribly to cacti, and other things, finding chupacabras and the like, all in an attempt to reach nirvana. The game is, I think, whopping $7 or $8 on itch for their most current build. It's going to be coming out in full release sometime this year. And the vibe of this game is just great. It's like kooky. Like at times it's kind of really macabre, but then you have scenes like we're watching now where you have like a simple shoot 'em up against aliens. You find a motel with people creeping on you. There's a museum. It sounds weird. I just say there's a museum, but like this is a weird, strange, vaguely science fiction fantasy game that is right up my alley. It's very, very difficult in the sense that your character's probably going to die getting like their toenail caught on a door frame. But it's part of the appeal. Like it's a very weird, strange game that's half narrative, half game. Kind of like if you made like a 1-page TTRPG but made it into a video game. I think each playthrough is at most a couple hours. But I looked into it. It looks like a solid game. The devs are putting out good updates to it. And these are the kind of games that I think most people would probably not even be aware of exists, unless you're like a avid itch.io fan. But I think it's important to experience games that are outside of your wheelhouse. And I think this is not in most people's wheelhouse. So give this a look. Again, this is Broke Signal Badlands, a world of desert adventure. Demo's free. Try it out.
Honestly, this to me feels like if Darkest Dungeon had a child that was raised entirely on Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah, it's
Interesting.
very Fallout New Vegas coded, but the graphics are like Oregon Trail.
It looks
Yeah,
like
right?
Oregon Trail, dude.
Yeah.
But the Darkest Dungeon, the first game, how like it was gritty and not really like what you would like expect on a new gen, right? Like this has that kind of feel. Honestly, if you liked Darkest Dungeon, I might give this a try. This looks cool.
Look at the way the assets reveal themselves as
Slowly
they scroll
loading
up. Yeah,
like
that,
an old
just like
90s
Oregon Trail did.
internet dial-up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of games that are driven heavily by text and narrative, as well as strange random encounters and kind of, I don't even know how to describe this game. Those are the kinds of games I like. If I have trouble describing them, it's probably a good game.
Yeah. It's doing something new.
So that's Broke Signal Badlands. Another one that came out last year, but it recently had a major free update because indie games love to do major free updates, is Terra Nil. A puzzle game disguised as anything but. This game I tried when it had a free demo way back in her long ago.
Yeah, it's been over a year since we talked about this on Next Fest.
And as of recently, this Vita Nova update is here. So what is Terra Nil? If you're not familiar, Terra Nil is a game about transforming a barren, lifeless landscape into a thriving, vibrant ecosystem. This is anti-post-apocalyptic, right? You have a small map that your goal is to use your limited resources to try to bring back fertile grasslands and valleys and forests to a clean, polluted, or a polluted environment. You get more resources, the more better you do. I hate saying more better. But yeah, it's kind of a puzzle game in that sense, in that you have like limited options available to you and you have to be very efficient with them. What's nice is this game is just getting this, what is it again? Vita Nova update. They add a lot more content, new region, new biomes, new structures, new achievements, new handbook pages, new music. And they overhauled the like animal system. You're going to have a lot of new animals, which will prowl in different environments. If they have the need, they can go hunting in other areas. They'll come in off the map. So they're making this game more and more intricate and detailed, which is good because in my mind, puzzle games fall into a very weird category if you're not a puzzle game fan. Either they are too hard and obtuse and you don't like them, or they're too easy and you don't like them.
Yeah.
Right. This is very fine razor's edge for most puzzle games where they wear out their welcome quickly. But Terra Nil has managed to create an environment in a game that has enough options and detail that it doesn't really feel like a puzzle game. It feels more like kind of like a city builder. And I like what they're doing with it. This game is also quite cheap. I think it's currently 40% off at $14.99. And the Steam Summer Sale is starting tomorrow at 10 a.m. Thursday. Who knows? At the very least, it might stay at 40% off, if not go farther. So if you're looking for a fun game to sink your teeth into, it's going to give you a little bit of fun pushback. Terra Nil is up your alley.
Yeah, and in case you didn't know already, the Steam sale, by the time you're watching or listening to this after it's come out, it's on. Yeah, it's been on for almost 20 hours at that point. So check out the summer Steam sale and make sure you check out some indie games while you're there, because they're bound to be really cheap during this time. And you're supporting smaller developers. And a lot of these games are just
better games.
Yeah, they're just good. Yeah, nothing. You can't complain about cheaper, great games. They may not be pushing the boundaries on graphics or narrative or storytelling, but some of them will, like legitimately. So,
and even if they don't, you don't have their graphics card anyways.
That's, right? I know I don't. Yeah, I'm having problems. Yeah. Well, guys, everybody knows about it already, and we're going to talk about it some more because it's the news right now. If you like, this news has reached across everywhere. It's gone fully mainstream. You know, we've got like large publications talking about it. We've got every podcast, so everybody's talking about it, and it's hard to gloss over this news, especially when there's like nothing happening in gaming news right now. We just had all of the Game Fest. We won't get anything new until Gamescom. So we're going to talk about Dr. Disrespect. In case you don't know the history, Dr. Disrespect was a popular live streamer on Twitch for quite some time. He had a couple rough spots, like some short bans, until ultimately in June of 2020, he was banned permanently from the website, no longer allowed to use his account on Twitch. And for seemingly, like, there had to be a reason, right? But that reason was not made public, neither by Twitch or anybody inside Twitch, and definitely not by Dr. Disrespect. In fact, he purposely seemed to keep everything really vague. Now, the only time that he ever had any kind of confirmation of what was going on is he did eventually talk about how he sued Twitch, and they came to a settlement. That was just a few weeks after the ban. The timeline is interesting because we had, like, it was on, again, it was even fairly mainstream news that he was banned. Some people learned about Twitch's existence and what it is because the ban for Dr. Disrespect went into some of the mainstream news outlets. So Dr. Disrespect he's a big, not just a big name.
I mean, besides Twitch, his YouTube channel has over 4 million subscribers.
Yeah,
So,
and
I mean,
at his peak, he had 53,000 paid subscribers on Twitch, right? So that's not including his followers, right? His followers were in the several million. Big name in Twitch. So eventually Twitch banned him permanently. Nobody knew why for a long time. The only time he really addressed it was at the beginning to let everybody know. He said, Champions Club, that's what he calls his viewers. Twitch has not notified me on the specific reason behind their decision. Firm handshakes to all for the support during this difficult time, is what he tweeted out right after the ban happened. Shortly thereafter, he sued Twitch. They came to a settlement, and that was pretty much all we ever heard officially since then, until this past weekend. And you know, it's been brought up like several times before. We'll go back a little bit further. We'll go back to June 26, 2020. Rod Breslow, sorry if I'm butchering that name, but you know, it is what it is, at Slasher on Twitter, said, look, for several hours now, I've been told from credible sources the reason Dr. Disrespect has been banned. However, due to the importance and sensitivity around the subject, I have refrained from going on it. I don't feel comfortable with it currently. That led to a lot of speculation, of course. The internet was alight with speculation on why he was banned again, right as soon as it was dying down, and as he was striking a deal with YouTube. And yeah, that was pretty much it. So, you know, there was a lot of speculation as to why Doc got banned. That brings us all the way to 2024. In between 2020 and 2024, it would come up again occasionally, and there would be some guesswork and stuff like that, or just for clicks and having Doc in somebody's news article, there would be more guesswork as to what was going on, right? Until recently, where Cody Connors, known as Evilly on Twitter, recently put out, without using the Doc's name, either his legal name, Herschel Guy Bream, or Dr. Disrespect, the tweet says, we do have it on screen for reference. I'm not showing you the actual Twitter links. I will have those in the blog. I'm using images captured from the Twitter links. But just for, you know, clarity, if you so choose to go check out the official sources, I do have the Twitter links in the blog. But these are screen capped because Twitter is a wild, wild zone, and I can't show that on screen live streaming Twitch. I'm not going to take that chance. Cody Connor says he got banned because got caught sexting a minor, and in the then existing Twitch Whispers product. Sorry, this is poorly worded. He was trying to meet up with her at TwitchCon. The powers that be could read in plain text. Case closed, gang. What he's saying there is Dr. Disrespect was caught messaging a minor inappropriately via the Twitch Whispers functionality on the website. It then claims that he was trying to meet up with her in person at TwitchCon, which he and apparently she were going to be attending. And according to Cody Connors on Twitter, he's saying that the powers that be, being the upper echelon at Twitch, could see his messaging in plain text. So fairly cut and dry. Now, we obviously don't have any evidence of this. We don't have the DMs. But things get a little bit crazier after this. And sorry, go ahead and cut in anytime you want.
Yeah, I mean, the whispers thing with a minor, that being, because I feel like that's pretty solid. They do know that happened. That in virtually any context is gross. It's yucky, and that would be enough in my book to ban him. It's like there should be nothing you need to say secretly to a minor on this forum. Either put it right here where we can all read it, or say nothing at all. You know. So anyway, moving into the story, that enough is
Well, it's icky.
It's icky, yucky.
It's icky. No, I mean, inappropriately texting with a minor is icky.
Yeah.
Even if it's not like sexually charged, the moment you bring adult topics, like strictly adult topics, into conversation with a minor,
You're doing it under the veil of secrecy.
yeah, which
Like that.
yeah, if you feel that you need to keep this private, your talk with a minor private, it's probably not a talk that you should be having with a minor. Yeah. Especially given that he's I wouldn't even say especially given, just as a public figure, there's a you're going after fans, right? It's gross. So the doc recently followed up right after that tweet from Cody Connors with a tweet that says, "Listen, I'm obviously tied to legal obligations from the settlement with Twitch, but I just need to say I just need to say what I can say since this is the fucking internet." That's what he says. Mm-hmm. "I didn't do anything wrong. All this has been probed and settled. Nothing illegal. No wrongdoing was found, and I was paid. Elden Ring Monday." Alluding to the fact that he would be streaming Elden Ring on the following Monday. So I want to kind of go over that again. Listen, I'm obviously tied to legal obligations from the settlement with Twitch, but I just need to say what I can say since this is the fucking internet. I didn't do anything wrong. All this has been probed and settled. Nothing illegal. No wrongdoing was found, and I was paid. That, to be honest, I don't know who he talked to, like if he talked to anybody before making this tweet, because any PR person would say you can't word it that way.
Yeah.
Because that honestly, that makes everybody's, your thoughts start to wander with that tweet.
Yeah. It reads like if OJ tweeted, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what it reads like.
It sounds like the tweet of somebody that is not innocent.
Yeah.
Somebody that's guilty of like weird behavior. Okay.
But isn't going to be punished properly or whatever.
Right.
Know?
And
like,
we can't tell, like maybe maybe a civil settlement happened and there was no criminal case. That's pretty obvious. We would know if there's a criminal case. Those are public. And it seems like it may have been just kind of internal investigations.
Yeah,
right?
it reads like, "Hey, my wrist was slapped. Shut up."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, definitely.
And it was a big payout. They paid him out of his contract, which, we'll talk about that more a little bit later. So on Monday's stream, Dr. Disrespect is playing Elden Ring. He has a pretty good viewer count, especially like this is the content he's been waiting for, right? He's been talking about Elden Ring for like the last few weeks, being like, we're doing Elden Ring Monday. He very publicly announced that, like, despite all the drama that's happening in my life right now, Elden Ring Monday, right?
Big deal.
During his live stream, it's assumed that he got a notification because this went public very shortly after his stream. For anybody that isn't aware of Dr. Disrespect, we talked about how big he is for the, the culture, whatever, Twitch, YouTube, and how popular he is.
Yeah.
With that popularity, he decided to co-found a gaming studio called Midnight Society.
Yep.
Midnight Society was now working with Dr. Disrespect hand in hand in creating this game and using a lot of his feedback, but also using him as kind of the poster child. He was the voice of this game that they were creating.
The face of,
Mm-hmm. So again, that's Midnight Society. Midnight Society tweeted, "On Friday evening, we became aware of an allegation against one of our co-founders, Guy Beam, aka Dr. Disrespect. We assumed his innocence and began speaking with parties involved. And in order to maintain our principles and standards as a studio and individuals, we needed to act. For this reason, we are terminating our relationship with Guy Beam immediately. While these facts are difficult to hear and even more difficult to accept, it is our duty to act with dignity on behalf of all individuals involved, especially the 55 developers and families we have employed along with our community of players. Mm-hmm. So, the important parts of this one. We assumed his innocence and began speaking with parties involved. So, began speaking assumedly with Twitch. Now, they didn't specify. They didn't specify whether it was talks with Twitch or talks amongst them and Dr. Disrespect, but
or a combination thereof.
Right, and it sounds like Twitch in this whole thing is going to stay silent on the topic. So they may have been obligated by Twitch in order to receive that information that they cannot list their the powers that be as Twitch, or the parties involved as Twitch. But they talked to the speaking with the parties involved, and in order to maintain our principles and standards as a studio and individuals, we need to act. For this reason, we are terminating our relationship with Guy Beam. They became aware of the allegation against them, and upon further investigation, decided that they wanted to sever ties with their co-founder.
Yeah, I mean,
this to me seems like it.
Case closed, gang.
Yeah,
I mean, just not.
It's honestly what it feels like.
They spoke to somebody who knew more, and that flew directly, when they found out more, that flew directly in the face of their principles and their morals.
Yeah.
And to maintain those, which is always good to do, if you have principles and morals, do something to maintain them. They're nice. They had to sever ties immediately. Not just sever ties like, hey, we're going to phase them out, but like, no, pack your shit and get out. Yeah. We're done. And honestly, it's not just, you would think, being a co-founder and all that, like that's an immediate cut, but he's lost, Turtle Beach is cutting ties with him as well. Also, the San Francisco 49ers are like, we're not working with you anymore. Yeah. Like that just goes to show how big video games and YouTube streaming in general really is even stuff like the NFL was getting involved, but it's like, if the NFL is cutting ties with you, you've done fucked up.
Yep.
Like, come on.
Especially considering all the scandals the NFL has.
That's it.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. So that does seem pretty cut and dry. Like the allegations of, using Twitch whispers to talk inappropriately with minors seems fairly cut and dry at this point. The news was announced right after his broadcast ended. Dr. Disrespect did address the chat, said, with all the things going on, it's all that I'm seeing in chat. It doesn't seem that we can just get down to Elden Ring. He said, essentially, he had already planned an extended vacation, but that he was going to start it early. Ended the stream and said, I don't know when I'll be back, but I'll be back. Since then, he has not gone live, but he has tweeted. This is a long one. Bear with me, guys. Dr. Disrespect addressing the Twitch ban on Twitter. Hello, I'd like to make a quick statement. Let's cut the fucking bullshit. As you know, there's no filter with me. Which is funny, because, he almost never talks candidly. He actually talks as a character all the time with a fake mustache, or with, I guess it's not fake, but he does use a fake mustache, plus glasses, reflective glasses, and a combat vest on all the time. Not a lot of candid talk there to be had. But he says he's going to be real with you guys on anything that I can be upfront about, and I'm always willing to accept responsibility, which is why I'm here now. First and foremost, I do want to apologize to everyone in my community, as well as those close to me, my team, and everyone at Midnight Society Game Studio. A lot of people have been left in the dark about what happened yesterday with Midnight Society and I, and we made the painful decision collectively to have me step down. Our team is full of incredibly talented and good people that have high career ambitions and families, and I never want to jeopardize the culture we have carefully crafted. Everyone has been wanting to know why I was banned from Twitch, but for reasons outside of my control, I was not allowed to say anything for the last several years. Now that 2 former Twitch employees have publicly disclosed the accusations, I can now tell you my side of the story regarding the ban. Now, the 2 employees that he's speaking of are at Slasher and at Evoli, referenced earlier. Going on, he says, were there Twitch whisper messages with an individual minor back in 2017? The answer is yes. Were there real intentions behind these messages? The answer is absolutely not. These were casual, mutual conversations that sometimes leaned too much in the direction of being inappropriate, but nothing more. Nothing illegal happened. No pictures were shared. No crimes were committed. I never even met the individual.
Yeah, because Chris Hansen would have fucking been there.
Well, because he got caught, right? Potentially. Says, I went through a lengthy arbitration regarding a civil dispute with Twitch, and that case was resolved by a settlement. Let me be clear, it was not a criminal case against me, and no criminal charges have ever been brought against me. Now, he keeps bringing up the criminal charges. He hasn't been charged. There's no, there's been no criminal processing. There's been, he hasn't done anything illegal, but he hasn't talked about the morality of it yet.
It's because he was trying to, and he just never made it to the fucking house for the cookies. That's honestly what this, allegedly, just to cover our asses here. That's what this fucking reads like, man. Like, Jesus Christ. Oh, all right, keep going.
Well, speaking of morals, he says, now, from a moral standpoint, I'll absolutely take responsibility. I should have never entertained these conversations to begin with. True. That's on me. True. That's on me and as an adult, a husband, and a father. It should have never happened. I get it. I'm not perfect, and I'll fucking own my shit. This was stupid. My insertion of true into those tweets was not part of the tweet. I was just agreeing with what he said there, is that it's on him, and as an adult, he shouldn't be doing this. It's stupid. Now, with all this said, don't get it fucking mistaken. I've seen all the remarks and labels being thrown around so loosely. Social media is a destruction zone. So he goes on to blame social media. I'm no fucking predator or pedophile. Are you kidding me? Anyone that truly knows me fucking knows where I stand on those things with those types of people. Fuck that. That's a different level of disgust that I fucking hate even hearing about. Don't be labeling me as the worst of the worst with your exaggerations. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. But I think I've said what I needed to say regarding the ban itself. That's it. That's why Twitch made the decision in 2020. To my team, community, industry friends that have supported me, I apologize. I wish I could have said all this sooner. You guys have always showed me and my family love and support throughout all these years. We love you guys like you can't imagine. I love the fucking best community and circle. If any of this has made you uncomfortable, I get it. You don't have to support me anymore, but just know you have always been greatly appreciated. But trust me when I say this, to all my haters that live and breathe social media with zero life experience, I don't give a fuck about you. Finally, if you're comfortable with this entire statement and think I'm a piece of shit, that's fine. But I'm not fucking going anywhere. I'm not the same guy that made this mistake all those years ago. I'm taking an extended vacation with my family as mentioned on stream, and I'm coming back with a heavy weight off my shoulders. They want me to disappear. Yeah, fucking right.
Well, honestly, bro, bye.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be fairly damaging to his career, but boy, oh boy, have there been a lot of supporters and very vocal ones on Twitter.
Well,
yeah. His Reddit, though, is full of people that are giving him the proper amounts of shit. I think there's a vocal minority that is still in support of him on his Reddit.
Well, dude, he wants to play the father card.
Yeah, the father and husband card.
Yeah, how icked out would you be if, like, some fucking dude like you was talking to your daughter?
Yes.
Like, that, fuck off. No.
Yep.
No.
Then after the whole cheating scandal that happened way back, he cheated on his wife. It was made public.
I mean, whatever, man. People like if you're owning, say, hey, I'm not a perfect person. That's what that makes sense for.
Sure, that makes sense. But throwing the good father, good husband.
No, dude, you're like doing some weird, at the very least, creepy groomer stuff.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like. Otherwise, the conversation would be right here, like the rest of us have them.
Yeah.
Like that.
We're gonna wrap up soon.
Yep.
There's just a couple points that I want to make here.
Ugh. All right. Yes.
We're broadcasting live on Twitch right now. Twitch, I don't understand. Like, where are you in this? like this kind of thing is happening on your platform. You have these, like, these kinds of things happen on any social media platform.
Sure.
Twitch is kind of a vague social media platform, right? It's where people get together and, there's conversations to be had in chat. There's back and forth between the streamers and chatters. It's vaguely a social media platform. What are like, this is one of your biggest creators, man. And it feels like maybe it's possible that the recipient of these texts or of these whispers, doesn't want to go public and doesn't want to push criminal charges. That's very possible, I suppose, especially because they were a fan, right?
Yeah.
I'd like to see Twitch make like a public apology that this is happening on at least that this is happening on their site, and maybe a commitment to make sure that a better commitment to make sure that minors aren't using the Whisper platform on Twitch.
I don't think the Whisper platform exists anymore, does it?
It still does. You can still send direct messages with people and creators. So I mean, it effectively still does. It doesn't work in the same way that it used to, but you can still direct message people within Twitch.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I'd like to see something from Twitch. I know that there was civil arbitration, right? So they may be legally obligated to not say some things, but at least address it. Dr. Disrespect, honestly, man, like, again, there's civil arbitration involved that always makes things weird and touchy, and complex. But I feel like sharing the DMs, unless that goes against the wishes of the person you were talking to, because that's fair that a minor gets to keep their privacy.
Yeah.
I just feel like releasing at least your messages.
Yeah, like
right?
your side, you could release if nothing was creepy, then release your side of the messages, man. Like,
yeah, I mean, he admits to inappropriate messages, so I think by nature that's going to be creepy by the virtue of this person is underage.
But if you're saying, hey, I never wanted to meet up with this person or whatever, it's like maybe like signing up. I don't know, dude. That's all.
No, it's to be honest, like
I don't like it. I don't like any of it.
All things aside, it sounds like he did it, and he was being creepy with a minor.
Yeah,
and that's all. That's what the evidence that we have currently points to. There's nothing fully substantiated.
Nothing criminal, right?
Yeah.
Nothing criminal. He's going really out of his way to point that out, and then, like, in Transformers where they zoom in on the Texas marriage, like that's what that, like, to throw.
Yeah, what was it? The Romeo and Juliet laws.
Juliet laws. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like that's what it feels like you're focusing on. It's like, okay, we get it.
Yes,
but,
you
like,
may have not done, but dude, this last tweet from the doc is not enough. Where he can blame others, it feels like he is.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
he's blaming social media. It's like, dude, you kept this under wraps.
Yeah.
Right.
And then obviously Twitch did to cover its ass because with the whisper function. So sorry, Daddy Warbucks, but it obviously you felt like you needed to change the method a little bit because you did, and you felt like something was wrong because you went into arbitration.
Yeah. And
then you just paid the guy to, be quiet about it. So, yeah. It's honestly, it's icky on all accounts. Like everywhere, like Twitch is obviously a little less icky because they were like, whoa, my goodness. Cut that shit out and, kicked him off. But then he got to just keep existing and collecting money and having subscribers, and because you didn't say anything.
Yeah.
And it's like that's yucky too. I don't like that either. So
yeah, and I mean, in his own tweet, he says, "Were there Twitch whisper messages with an individual minor back in 2017? The fact that he didn't get banned from the platform, I know it may have taken some time.
Alone.
I know it may have taken some time, but that's my biggest issue on the Twitch side. Is it took 3 years for something to happen, and maybe that's because it came to light, whatever. But this is again This is one of your biggest creators on the platform ever, and they're getting away using your platform to message minors, right? This isn't some rando in a Discord server that a kid probably shouldn't be in. You know, this isn't a fanfic Discord where it should be adults only. This is Twitch that allows 13 and up to create accounts on their website. What are you doing to mitigate this from happening again? That's my only point as far as Twitch goes. Like, that discussion needs to be had, and probably as soon as possible. I don't want to dwell on the topic too much longer. Just to wrap it up, be careful out there. Don't our audience. I'm not too worried about you guys, right?
Yeah.
But if you ever find success in the streaming market, if you ever get big, you get a decent sub count, you get decent followers. Remember that there is a power dynamic there, and that you have those fans. Don't take advantage of them. It's gross, especially when they're minors. The whole thing, it's no good. You got anything else to say on the topic?
No, I think we covered that.
All right, let's get back to video games for 2 more minutes, and then we'll be done. So just as a reminder, Nick said it earlier, but Next Fest has started by the time you're listening to this. So if you didn't know already, check out Steam. Definitely check out some indie games
In Australia, it's already started.
yeah. I actually think it starts uniformly at our 10 a.m. our time. But by the time you're listening to this, if you haven't checked it out already, make sure you head over to Steam. Check out all the awesome, there's going to be awesome cheap games. So make sure you check those out. Remember to check out our YouTube. Anything that you didn't catch in the live stream, check it out on YouTube later. Or, if just the VOD is your thing, it'll be up Friday mornings. Same thing with the podcast on all of the regular Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, pretty much any platform that exists. And make sure you subscribe to those. Leave comments for us. That'd be handy. Really would appreciate that. And check out Next Fest. Or not Next Fest, Summer Sale.
Summer sale.